Day 2012 in Sheridan, Wyoming, and I'm here with two old friends of mine, the Theriaults from Casper, and you sold your old business 15 years ago, and you've been doing solar ever since. Is that right?
Yes. Well, no, not ever since, but we had a little interlude, but for the last 5 years we've been doing solar and wind.
Solar and wind.
Because he decided that if he was going to do another job, he was going to do something that he believed in up to his eyeballs, and he's been up to his eyeballs ever since.
Well, passion is important. Passion's important.
Critical.
So tell us about your passion for wind and solar.
I just really like it. I mean, we put it on our house, and people saw it and liked it, and we started doing it for everybody else.
You know, I've got a buddy that has a cabin up in the mountain, all solar, all solar. It's just really phenomenal. So tell us a little bit about your business, Range Solar and Wind.
Well, we have a range of central Wyoming. So we go Sundance, Sheridan, Buffalo, down to Laramie, over to Cheyenne if we have to, Casper. So we've got a pretty good size range. We install grid-tied solar where you can just hook it into the utility and get paid back by the utility for any extra production, or off-grid like your friend, which uses batteries for storage so that you can have lights at a refrigerator and feel like home when you're in the cabin in the woods. Or we can do a combination of the two. So you can do grid-tied battery-based, so that if your house has critical loads like a furnace fan or a water pump or something like that, you can have that powered if the utility goes off.
So, Deb, you said Gene was passionate about this work, but I think you probably share that.
Well, you kind of have to. You know, when you live in the same house, it can't be one person going, "Oh, I don't think so." No, you both got to be on the same page.
Yeah, there you go. So, Gene, tell us a little bit about this solar panel right behind us.
Actually, this is our demo solar panel. We install a larger version of this same panel, but this one travels well.
Okay.
The solar panel we would do would be a little bit bigger than that, but it matches quite well with our inverters.
And it says something about a tax credit and sales tax.
Well, the sales tax is going away July 1st.
On all solar?
On all renewables.
Oh, I see.
But up until then, we've got a 5% or 6%, if that's your county. And the 30% tax credit is good through any installations through 2016.
Okay, and then it also says utility pays for excess power generation. How's that work?
They do it with credits of kilowatt hours. So it's 1 kilowatt hour for 1 kilowatt hour.
So effectively, you make your meter run backwards.
That'll be effective, yes.
Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you something about solar, and this tells you how out of touch I am. I just remember when it first became popular, and there were these big water-based circulating systems on top of houses, but there have been a lot of advances. I mean, this thing actually looks kind of pretty. Tell us, what's the state of the art in solar?
That was solar hot water, which is still a good technology, but it's not one that we do. This is solar electric.
Okay, and so how does it work?
You don't have that long. The little electrons jump across the wires here. 15% of them get captured by the wire, run along, go to the inverter, get inverted from DC, which is the solar panel, to AC, and get rented and come back and jump off somewhere else on the solar panel that it came from.
So have you been over to see Clint Mosley's Green Power demo trailer over here?
Yeah.
Let me tell you what you'll see. It's really neat. He's got a little solar array over there, and inside he's got regular incandescent, and then the curlicue bulb lights, I can't remember what those are called, and then the LEDs. And he has a meter showing 200 watts, 70 watts or something, and then 20 watts. So I asked him, could I run my house off solar? And he said, well, it depends. It depends on how energy efficient or not you're being.
And it's a budget. It's a budget consideration as well.
Yeah.
But the nice part about solar or any renewable is that you don't have to do all of it. You make a contribution. Whatever your budget can allow, you contribute to going green with whatever you can afford.
Well, I know you folks have to get back on the road to the Windy City, Casper, Wyoming. As you know, Don and I lived there for a period of years, and it was a great community. But I'll tell you a story since you're in the wind power business. My wife had a little clipping sitting on top of the dresser. It was out of the newspaper. And I'd kind of pick it up, and it said today's weather, and I'd put it back down. it was there day in and day out. And finally I said, Donna, why do you have a newspaper clipping on top of the bureau? And she said, did you read it? And I said, well, it's the weather forecast. She says, go read it. So I picked it up, and the Casper Star-Tribune at that time, you'd open up the front page, and on the inside middle page, it had a little box, and it would say today's weather. And it said, today's weather, wind gusts of up to 100 miles an hour. And I told her, I said, yeah. And she goes, well, anywhere else it would be on the front page. They'd be telling you to take shelter, hide, put boards over the windows. And in Casper, it's just another forecast. So tell us about wind power in Casper, Wyoming.
Well, we've said that if you buy a turbine, basically what it is, it's a mental health prescription. Because if you hate the wind, if you get a turbine, you love the wind.
Do we have enough wind in Sheridan to be effective?
That's why we didn't bring our turbine today.
Oh, not enough wind in. Let's hear that again.
There's not enough wind in Sheridan.
You have all the mental health you can stand.
No turbines after you get 50 miles north of Casper.
All right. Well, but Casper's still
Sunshine you've got.
Sunshine we have. Well, listen, Deb and Jean, thanks so much for being here at Sheridan's Earth Day, and I'm glad to see your new venture, and I know you guys are both hardworking and intelligent, and I know you'll do well. And next time, give me a call, and maybe you can come over and look at our place for a little bit of solar.
Well,
be glad to do that.
All right.
Okay,
Right,
good
Dave.
enough. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate
Good
the
catching
time.
up with you.
Yeah, safe travels back to Casper.
Thank you very much.